out of this world with fried fish. I couldn't eat a boiled lobster without it. I'm a little reluctant to tell you this, but I have been known, and I'm so afraid to confess this in public, but I have been known to put it, rather than mustard, on a pastrami sandwich. There! I said it, now I'm going to suffer the consequences. Coleslaw. Things don't get much simpler than coleslaw. Sliced raw cabbage with dressing. But as always, in simplicity, there lurks complexity. First of all, how did sliced or shredded cabbage salad come to be called coleslaw? Well, if you happen to be Dutch, you already know the answer to that. The name coleslaw derives from the Dutch coleslaw, which is cool for cabbage and slaw for salad. And if you don't stop there, but you keep going back, etymologically speaking, you see the word cole, C-O-L-E, or variants of it, used to mean cabbage in herbals and cookery books as early as the 14th century. Now, we still use it, actually, in a sense. You know this vegetable, this green vegetable called kohlrabi. It's sort of like, it's a cabbage-like vegetable, and it's spelled K-O-H-L, rabi, kohlrabi. So we still see that cabbage root in this vegetable. Now, how do you make a great coleslaw? Let us start by getting some ideas by looking at some decidedly ungreat coleslaws, which is usually what you're looking at in a restaurant when you get coleslaw. You know, so often you see them in these really pathetic little paper cups. They still do this all over the place. I guess there's a kind of retro 50s charm about it, but what really bothers me is what they hold. Take a look at this one for starters. This is your classic watery coleslaw. Yuck. I hate that kind of stuff. This one has the opposite problem. It's just way too thick and gloppy. This one has that sort of like cutesy Americana problem. It's filled with raisins, and it's really sweet. And I hate really sweet coleslaw. Coleslaw should have a little bit of sweetness, but it shouldn't be, you know, like dessert. And then this one is, things are cut too thick. Look at those big shreds of carrots. I don't even like carrot in my coleslaw, as you'll see in a moment, but especially not big shreds of carrot. And this one is dried out somewhat. So I say feh to all of these. Okay, so if none of these is the real thing, what is? Well, starts with the right cabbage. This, for example, kohlrabi, I wouldn't use this. Just take a look. Come into my kohlrabi here for a second, if I can get in here. See, kohlrabi looks more sort of like a turnip inside. So you wouldn't want to use that because it's way too hard. On the other hand, you've got cabbages like Napa cabbage, which is a type of Chinese cabbage, and you've got the wonderful crinkly Savoy cabbage like this one. And these are possible for coleslaw, but I wouldn't especially choose these because they're almost a little too soft. They don't quite have the crunch of your plain old regular white cabbage. And nothing fancy here, folks, but this is the cabbage, plain old regular white cabbage, that I prefer for coleslaw. Now, the next issue is how do you cut it? And that is very, very important, because I don't like grated cabbage, I don't like diced cabbage, I don't like minced cabbage, I especially don't like thick pieces. Take a look at this. Thick pieces of sliced cabbage in my coleslaw. That makes bad coleslaw. You see, coleslaw is kind of light, delicate, lacy, frilly stuff. There's only one route for me, and that is delicate, thin slices of regular cabbage. Now, it's tricky to get these. There's a couple of tricks involved. Let me show you. First of all, I'm going to take away the sort of leathery leaves, outer leaves of this. And then I'm going to take away some of this core, not all of it, because I want the cabbage to sort of stick together. But I'm going to take away the hard outer part of the core. Now, the next step would be cutting this in quarters. Like that. Like that. Okay. Now, here's the problem. Oh, nature provided us with a pretty nice one here, but let me show you the problem. See the inner architecture of this thing. You've got fine leaves of cabbage here, but then you get to this spot and you've got a really thick one here, and you've got another really thick one curling in right here. And if you just slice down, you're going to get like really thick pieces of cabbage among your thinner pieces of cabbage. So here's what you have to do. It takes a little bit of work. But first of all, I've got a thick wedge here on the outside. I'm going to take that guy right away. Now, you start to peel off pieces of cabbage. Now you see I'm peeling just the thin ones up to that thick spot. I'm going to tear it off right there. And watch what I do now. See, now I've got these nice thin ones all stacked up next to each other just like that. You put it down on a board, and you take a really sharp knife, and this is handwork. You just start to cut thin slices off of there, and they'll all be pretty even. Let me show you what I've got here. Takes a little while, but hey, what else do you have to do on a nice lazy summer afternoon? Oh, yes, this is looking very nice. Let me show you what it looks like exactly. Can you see that? Oh, yeah, you had a good view of it right there. Very lacy, thin slices of cabbage. That's the way I like to do it by hand because I really feel I have control. You can also do it if you have one of these expensive French slicing machines called a mandoline. You can, again, you got to be careful. You see, you lose control here because you're going to have the thick bands of cabbage in there. But it does very quickly a pretty good job. Let me show you what that looks like. There you go. Can you see that? Pretty good. Not bad. A few thick bands got into there because I didn't have the hand control. Also, much cheaper than a mandoline. Mandoline costs you about $150. You can get these cheap plastic machines that cost you about $20. They do a pretty good job, but I know that they never get as thin as the mandoline. See how we did that? You see, now that got in. See, this you're really going to have to do a selection. You're going to have to start pulling stuff out. But some of it's going to be okay. Best, believe me, best is by hand. Now, the next issue. Some people like to soak the shredded cabbage in ice water. And the reason they do that is because they think it makes it crisper. It does, but it also makes it watery, and you're headed towards a watery coleslaw if you do that. You should soak it, in a sense, to remove water, but not... you should soak it, in a sense, to... What I mean to say is to remove water. You want to get water out of it, not put more water in. And the way you do that is you soak it in salt. So here I've shredded some cabbage. And I've got a half of a head of cabbage here. I'm going to sprinkle this with about a teaspoon of salt. And let that sit for an hour. And then there'll be a lot of liquid in here. You want to wash that out and you want to dry it. And it really makes a wonderful texture in the coleslaw. Okay, now let's start making coleslaw. I've got some here. Here's some coleslaw. Here's some cabbage that I've shredded. And I've already salted and squeezed out. So it's nice and dry. And you see I've still got big pieces in here. You're always having to edit this stuff. So unless you don't mind it, but I like to take out the big pieces as much as I can. So I'm taking out big pieces of cabbage here. And, you know, I think you'll have to agree, this is a pretty nice, lacy bowl of cabbage that I've got right here. You can use those pieces for soup or for something else or for a stir fry or something like that. Now, what kind of dressing are we going to put on the cabbage? Well, in the south of this country, they like to use a boiled dressing, which is made with eggs and heavy cream and oil. I don't like it. I think it's too heavy. My answer is very simple. It's mayonnaise. Now, I know you're saying that's heavy, but the thing is you don't use too much, and this is really the difference. Don't make a gloppy coleslaw. Make a light coleslaw with a little bit of mayonnaise. I'm a committed mayonnaise man, but it can't be that sweet kind of mayonnaise that's sometimes called salad dressing or whatever. Use a good mayonnaise or use your own mayonnaise. But remember, not too much. Now, I'm just going to sort of improv this. So let's see. Here, for all that cabbage, I'm only going to use about that much mayonnaise. For starters, we'll see later as I taste it. Now, you want to loosen this up with some kind of vinegar. And what I like to use is a very light-tasting vinegar. I think cider vinegar is perfect. And you know what else is good? Asian rice vinegar, which is a little bit lower in its acidity. Asian rice vinegar or cider vinegar, both very good. Now, to this, I like to add a little bit of sugar, not much. This is my answer to raisins. Just a little bit of sugar. I'm adding right now maybe about half a teaspoon or less. And that blends in nicely. And then I love the flavoring of celery seeds. Some people use caraway seeds, but not me. I think they're too strong a flavor. They don't quite belong in this dish. But a little bit of celery seed, to me, gives it that real authentic, or at least what to me is authentic, old-fashioned coleslaw taste. Some black pepper. Some people use white pepper, but I like the little black specks in coleslaw. And salt, of course, to taste. Now let me mix this together and see. You see how that is? See, it's not watery. It's not gloppy. It's not thin. It's just about perfect. And you can see, if you look on the side of the bowl, you can see what the texture is like of the sauce that's on it. Oh man, this is good. I don't think I need to change this. Let me tell you. Bingo. Right in there. You might add a little bit more sugar, but I like it on the sour side, not on the sweet side. Now, like many other basic combinations, coleslaw has undergone some recent upscaling. When we come back, I'm going to show you cabbages for kings.
basket and a suitcase because the TV Food Network's Great American Picnic 97 sweepstakes is here. Enjoy picnic fare with a British flair. You can win a picnic for two in London. Grand prize winners join a special TV Food Network chef to eat, drink and be in merry old England. Picnic in St. James Park and see Disney's Beauty and the Beast on stage. Airfare provided by British Airways. To enter, send your name, address and phone number by July 31st, 1997 to the address on the screen. Or visit our website at foodtv.com. Start packing today.
Come on, ice cream for everyone.
Oh, none for me, thanks.
Why?
Dairy foods do a number on my stomach.
You're lactose intolerant?
Huh?
You know, gas, bloating. I get it too, but it's no problem anymore. Try this.
Lactaid Ultra. One little caplet just before eating lets you digest dairy foods easily and naturally.
Next time, let's go for milkshake.
With a little Lactaid Ultra on the side.
Lactaid Ultra. Go on, enjoy dairy again. Call 1-888-ULTRA now for a free sample.
There's lots of hidden sodium in the food we eat. So why add more salt? Use salt-free Mrs. Dash. Mrs. Dash is a 100% natural blend of 14 tasty herbs and spices. But you won't find one grain of salt, just really great flavor. So look out for that hidden sodium and look for salt-free Mrs. Dash. It's America's favorite salt-free blend.
Promise me you'll come back for me.
I promise. I'll never leave you.
The English Patient is coming back to theaters for 3 weeks only.
You're in love with him, aren't you?
It's the winner of 9 Academy Awards, including Best Picture.
We're the real countries, not the boundaries drawn on maps.
This is your last chance to see the best movie of the year on the big screen. The English Patient, rated R, now playing everywhere.
We're almost ready. Go get the cones.
Your favorite, roughage.
Don't put up with over-frozen ice cream. Maytag's exclusive new dual-cool refrigerator keeps its cool, so you can keep yours. Another great idea from Maytag, the dependability people.
There's my ideal coleslaw. It is so light and frilly. And, you know, you can adjust the acid by adding more vinegar. You can adjust the sweetness by adding more sugar. But this one, to me, watch, I just want you to see how frilly this is. Take a look. See how light it is? Oh, man, this is great, great stuff. So if you've never had a coleslaw this light, have one. Try it. All right, let's depart from the classic, however. And let's make a few new wave slaws. I became aware of a Southwest variation, a mango slaw, and I think it's pretty good. You shred a cup of red cabbage and put it in a bowl. And be aware, of course, when you make a regular coleslaw, you could use red cabbage if you like, or a combination of red and green. It wouldn't be classic, but it would be a fun little variation. See, I'm still editing. I'm still picking out the, oh, look at that one. I don't want that one in there. I don't want that one in there. I'm still picking out those thick ribs of cabbage. No, they go into my soup pot or into some other salad, but not in my coleslaw. Now to this, I'm adding a cup of mango. It's been peeled and cut into julienne strips. A cup of julienne strips of mango and a tomato that's been chopped, peeled, seeded, and chopped. I'm also adding a chili, one fresh green serrano chili that has been seeded and finely chopped. I'm adding a scallion or a green onion, including some of the green part, the tender green part, that has been chopped. I'm also adding a third of a cup of fresh cilantro leaves. Very colorful, this salad is beautiful. 3 tablespoons of fresh lime juice for a little springiness. I'm adding a teaspoon of olive oil. Just a little bit of that. And some salt. And some pepper. Now this one, you notice, doesn't get any sugar added to it. And the reason is, coleslaw always should have a little bit of a sugary kick. The reason is that you've got all this mango in here, so you don't really need any sugar. This is great. If you're having, you know, summertime kind of backyard barbecue, something like that, this is absolutely fabulous alongside your grilled chicken or your grilled ribs or whatever it is that you're grilling or smoking or barbecuing. Let me just put some of this on a plate so you can see how pretty this salad is. You know, I'm not always big on the variation thing. Sometimes just the classic will do for me, thank you. But this one I think is really very, very nice. Okay, let's move on. Let's go even further afield, shall we? I'm going to make a Thai coleslaw. Yes, yes. It really is pretty good, even though it's very odd, but it's really nice for an offbeat kind of meal where you're using some American elements, some Thai elements. So to do this, we're going to take a pound of cabbage. Now, in this case, you know, because it's an Asian kind of thing, not a bad idea to use Napa cabbage, or you could use Savoy cabbage if you want. But shred it, as we discussed before, and you can also do the salting and the squeezing and the drying, as we discussed before, and put it in a bowl. Now, to this, we're going to add some flavors here that are usually pretty foreign to coleslaw. Garlic, 2 medium cloves of garlic that I've minced. I'm also adding serrano chili. I've got here 2 medium serrano chilies that I have seeded and minced. Spicy coleslaw. Half a pound of cucumber, which is peeled, seeded, and sliced into thin slices, thin little pieces like these. Also adding scallions. I've got here 4 medium scallions that I've sliced into thin rounds. All right, let's just give that a little toss. Editing, taking out my thick wedges of cabbage. There we go. Okay, now, in a bowl, I'm going to mix together the dressing. I've got here a 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. And to this, I'm going to add a tablespoon of sugar. And blending in the sugar well. So it doesn't, there's quite a bit of sugar in this, so I don't want it to seem granular in the coleslaw. And to this, I'm taking a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. And blending that in. Okay, now this dressing gets poured over the cabbage. Once you've got it all consolidated, amalgamated, emulsified, there you go, starting to turn a little bit thick, pour that over the cabbage. And we're going to make it just a little bit more Thai right now. We're going to take some peanuts, 1/2 cup of dry roasted peanuts that you've chopped or crushed, and some cilantro. I've got here about 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro leaves that I've minced. Mix that together. Man, once again, you know, I'm thinking backyard. If you're outside and you're grilling some like skewers of Thai-flavored chicken or something like that, couldn't do better than this. I'm adding some salt to this. You could also, if you want to be really Thai, add some fermented Thai fish sauce instead of salt. That would be a nice touch. Let me put this on a little Thai-like plate for you. And yes, another great coleslaw variation. Voila. Okay. Actually, if you chill that one about 6 hours or so, it'll really bring up the flavors. Lastly, I want to show you a great slaw that was recently published by a cookbook author named Jim Fobel, who's a big guy who's into big flavors. And he published his Uncle Eddie's coleslaw. I never met Uncle Eddie, but I know I like him already. In a bowl, you combine 1/4 cup mayonnaise, 1/4 cup of sour cream. And to this you add a tablespoon of brown mustard, as well as a tablespoon of cider vinegar, 1/2 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, 1/2 tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of prepared horseradish, there we go, 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard, teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of celery seed, and 1/8 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. You want to mix this all together. Add it to about 5 cups of shredded cabbage that, as you know, have been finely shredded and also salted and squeezed dry if you wish. I like that little touch in making coleslaw, but you don't have to do it. Let me get my hands in here again. Mix this all together. Now, Jim feels that this slaw is perfect on a sandwich, particularly a smoked tongue sandwich. And who am I to disagree? In fact, his Uncle Eddie used to eat it this way. And here's what he would do. He would take a whole smoked beef tongue, 3.5 to 4.5 pounds, put it in a casserole, cover it with cold water, just like you can buy it just like that. It comes in a package, a smoked beef tongue. Cover it with cold water, and you sprinkle on 25 whole cloves. This gets a real wonderful clovey taste that's really good with the coleslaw. You partially cover it. You put it on the stove. You bring it to a boil. Then you reduce the heat. You simmer it for 2.5 to 3 hours or until it's tender. And you let it cool in its liquid. And you get something that looks like this finally. And then you slice it and you prepare it for sandwich. Let me just cut off a couple slices for you right here. There you go. Nice sliced tongue. Right here. Now come back in a moment and oh, so juicy and smoky and clovey. It's wonderful. Come back in a moment. I'm going to show you how Uncle Eddie put this on a sandwich.
Would you like to try Snackwell's cereal bars?
I don't like cereal bars.
Well, have you tried our strawberry banana and raspberry?
This tastes great.
I know.
Really fruity.
Oh, it's jam-packed with real fruit filling.
I want to try the other one.
Sorry, I have to say some for the other people.
Mother.
Yes?
Loaded with real fruit filling. Snackwell's fat-free strawberry banana and raspberry cereal bars. Try all 5 varieties.
Hey, Cookie Man, better make some more.
Hi, I'm Betty, and this is Pat. We're the Reynolds Kitchen's home economists. Today we'll show you how to use Reynolds plastic wrap to travel with a fancy vegetable platter. And have it stay the way you made it. Reynolds seals the tightest. Just stretch it over the platter, and you're ready to go. Drop it into a picnic basket or save room in the refrigerator. But don't try this with any other plastic wrap. Reynolds plastic wrap makes good food better. Now you're just showing off.
This summer, when you itch from mosquitoes or poison ivy, remember the power of 10. Among these, only Cortisone 10 penetrates skin with the medicine doctors recommend most to stop itching and help heal. Remember the power of 10. Cortisone 10.
These women, they used to burn to be near me. Now Bain de Soleil protects them for 6 to 8 hours. It's waterproof and rub-proof. See how they ignore me.
Long-lasting Bain de Soleil. Protect your beautiful skin all day.
Traveling is more fun with a companion, and Foodland and Sack and Save can help. Come in and show your Maikai card, spend $40 in one visit, and we'll give you an Aloha Airlines companion certificate instantly. It's Foodland's Great Aloha Takeoff, now even easier with Maikai.
At most furniture stores, you have to dance to their tune. But at Expressions Custom Furniture, we set your imagination free. With over 90,000 frame and fabric choices, you're sure to find a look that's you. Come on in and take advantage of Great Expressions choices at Great Expressions sale prices. Expressions. You'll find yourself in our furniture.
This, we believe, is Uncle Eddie. Actually, we have no damn idea, but it could be Uncle Eddie. But this is Uncle Eddie's favorite sandwich, the coleslaw and the smoked tongue. I am telling you, is absolutely fabulous. Serve it with some chips. Serve it with some pickles. You have got a Mid-American treat, and with it, I'm going to drink a good Mid-American beer. I want to drink a lager with this, nothing too serious. This is a beer called Augsburger Golden, and it's made in St. Paul, Minnesota. And I'm going to serve it in a frosty mug, and I'm going to be halfway to heaven, which may be where Uncle Eddie is right now, but I hope he's watching, I hope he's looking down on us. This is food. Thank you, Uncle Eddie. Well, I'm going to have fun with this. I hope you've had fun with me today. Hope you come back to see me again. Make those coleslaws. Remember, light, lacy, thin cuts. That's the whole key. And I'll see you again soon. Remember, life is a matter of taste. Bye-bye.
up, it's Susan Feniger and Mary Sue Milliken on Two Hot Tamales. Then at 1:30 Eastern, it's time to fire up your grill for Bobby Flay and Jack McDavid on Grillin' and Chillin'. Coming up on the TV Food Network, we're really cooking.